Hi there, I'm Pat with River's Edge Chef, and it's been a while since we've had a video done for a lot of different reasons, but anyway, we're back, and today I'm going to make a chard dish. It's a chard gratin, and it's a real simple dish that's rustic and has a lot of leeway as to what you put in it and how much you put in it. So anyway, we have rainbow chard that was self-sown out in the garden that Estrella has been growing, and it's absolutely beautiful. And this amount of chard and the ingredients is for a very large batch, but I will give you the recipe for a smaller, more family style. What I was going to do with this was make up a bunch and put it in the freezer for when we get really busy and need to just have a really quick meal. We can pop out of the freezer and then into the microwave and get on with our day. Anyway, so the recipe calls for a couple of pounds of chard, and what you want to do is remove the leaves, this part of the leaf from the stem, and then you will chop the stem up so that it's fairly fine. It's almost like celery, and this is a lot. It's really beautiful. And then take the leaf part, and you will roll it up after the stem is out of it, and then chop that up, and then go along and chop it up again so that you end up with pieces about like this. And then with the rest of it is that you'll have a nice good sized onion chopped fine, as much garlic as you like, which I like a lot, bacon, a nice smoky bacon or some kind of smoky meat. It doesn't matter what kind it is, but bacon. This is a really nice smoky bacon that I'm going to be using today. And a good strong shredded cheese. I'm using Belgioso Parmesan, which I'm a fan of Belgioso. They make really good cheese products. And then I have some mushrooms, and you can have regular button mushrooms, wild mushrooms, any kind of mushroom you like, or not. If you don't have mushrooms, don't worry about it. So anyway, and then you'll have 3 eggs that you'll beat, and a little bit of white wine if you have it. I don't have a good white wine right now to put in there, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll just saute everything up. And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this and microwave it at 30-second intervals in the microwave, just to wilt it down and release some of the moisture that's in it. This is pretty nice dry chard, so it doesn't have a lot of moisture in it, so it'll work out really well. And I'm going to saute the bacon and add the rest of the ingredients to it as we go along. Anyway, so I'll start wilting this down a little bit more. I've already got started on it because I've used up about half of it already, wilting it down in the microwave. The microwave works really good because it doesn't add any moisture to it. The other thing you can do is pour boiling water over it and then let it set and then squeeze the moisture out. But I kind of like doing it this way because you don't have to mess with any of the moisture. The other thing is that you bake it at 350 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and crack these since this one cracked itself. So I'm going to put maybe, for the small recipe, it's for 3 eggs. And you just beat them up. This is a really nice dish for if you make a good sized batch of it. You can have it just as a standalone main dish, or you can use it as a side dish. Either way, it's really nice, and it actually works out really well for breakfast if you put a poached or soft boiled egg on top of it. It's really nice that way. I'm kind of a fan of it like that. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt to the eggs. And some pepper. And just pepper to taste. It's a nice drizzly day out. It's kind of overcast. It was hot yesterday, and I guess it's supposed to be hot again. Had some pretty hot weather this summer. But we've also had a certain amount of rain too, which has been really nice because we always worry about fires out here. Okay, we have our chard is wilted down. Put it into this bowl here. So Let's see what it looks like. So, okay, this is wilted down nicely, nice and steamy. And so we're going to start sauteing our bacon. So you would take maybe 3 or 4 slices of nice thick cut smoky bacon to make this, or even salami, any kind of, you know, smoky ham, anything like that at all would work really well. I'm going to start sauteing this down, and then we're going to add these guys. And we're going to add part of these because I'm going to make a really large batch, so it's going to have to be done in kind of stages. Hey, Smudgy. Hey, Smudgy. We have a kitten that showed up in the bamboo, and he's really a cute little guy. He was probably about 8 weeks old when we discovered him out in the bamboo, and he was very leery. It took about 5 days for Astrid to be able to get her hands on him, but he's kind of turned into a really cute little kitten. We like him, but it's unfortunate when people do things like that, when they dump animals off. You know, he's just lucky he ended up in a place that would take care of him rather than shoot him. We've given him his first dose of vaccine, so he doesn't get any horrible cat diseases like, what is it? Oh, it's not lymphoma, it's leukemia. So he's been vaccinated for cat leukemia and all the other cat diseases, and we'll flea treat him here in the next couple of days. We wanted to keep the two separate because when we gave him the vaccine he didn't feel good for about 24 hours. He was dozy. So, and then we'll get him fixed because he's a boy. We'd get him fixed if he was a girl too, because we believe in having animals neutered so that they don't procreate and flood the world with too many animals. So as far as the ingredients go, with the bacon I'm adding the onion first because I want that to sweat down first. And then I'm going to add the chard stems. And after that I will add, or actually I'm going to add the mushrooms in with the onions and the garlic, and then we will add the chard stems to cook down. We'll go over the recipe again. And this recipe actually came from someone we met at a party, a dinner party, oh gosh, a long time ago, because I emailed her and the email says it's 2008. Her name was Cynthia, she's a very nice woman, and she'd gone to the farmer's market that morning and just picked up the chard and all the ingredients that she needed for it. So it was so good that I just had to have the recipe. So we'll go again. It's 350 degree oven, a couple pounds of chard that you de-stem, chop the stems up, chop the leaf part up, and wilt this down. And then you add a good onion, nice good sized onion, and if you have mushrooms, smoky meat. It's not a real tight recipe that you have to, you know, you can just vary it however you want. You know, it doesn't matter a whole lot because it's going to turn out really good regardless. So it's just one of those things. It's just nice, easy, simple, not complicated, and it turns out tasty. So, and you don't have to use a Parmesan. You can use any kind of sharp, you know, you could use like an extra sharp cheddar, a good Gouda, anything like that would work really well. Parmesan is what I had though. Locally we can get the Belgioso Parmesan instead of driving for an hour and a half to go to a store that carries the Parmesan Reggiano. So, and Belgioso is a really good cheese. They make really nice mozzarellas, burratas, mascarpone. They make a lot of different kinds of Italian style cheeses that are very, very good. And I think that Belgioso is located in Wisconsin. Add the garlic now to the onions and bacon. I'm going to add the mushrooms. Okay, we have our mixture sauteed up. It's the garlic, onion, bacon, Swiss chard stems, and I'm going to mix in some of the wilted down leaf here so that we can get this going, and we'll portion it out into a pan to bake it off. Mix it all together. The stems take a little while to cook down so that they get soft enough. My teeth are pretty good, so I don't worry about it too much. So if you like your Swiss chard stems to be a little crunchy, that's good. If you want them to be cooked down really well, you could just add a little bit of moisture, a little white wine or a little bit of water to the saucepan that you're cooking it in, and get it cooked down really well. So I'm going to add a little bit of the cheese. And a little bit of the egg mixture. And the egg mixture has been beaten with salt and pepper. The salt helps to break the egg down some so that it mixes easier. And we always want to make sure we're well seasoned so it has good flavor. Okay, we're going to put this in our pan that we're going to bake it in. And basically you just bake it. It doesn't take too long. You bake it until it's just barely pulling away from the edges of the pan. And you bake it at 350 degrees. It shouldn't take more than about 20 minutes to bake it, as long as it's not, if it's a huge batch, if you're going to go ahead and make a big batch, it'll take a little longer. But for a small batch like what I'm doing right here, it doesn't take that long. And you just want to bake it until it's just pulling away from the edge and a little bit browned around the edge. And then we're going to put a little more cheese on top, not a huge amount, but some. And this is going to be our breakfast. So this is what it looks like before it goes in the oven. Hope you can see that okay. Set the timer for 20 minutes. So, tick away. So I hope you try this recipe. It's really nice. You know, I've never had luck growing spinach. You know, spinach would be a good substitute for the chard in this, but I've never had luck growing spinach ever. So Swiss chard is a really good one for me to use. Spinach is nice, but normally I buy my spinach, so it's not one of those things that I grow very well. In fact, at all. It's always been a failure for me, and I'm not exactly sure why. Anyway, I hope you try this recipe out. We'll have it out of the oven here in a little bit, and we will go from there. So this is the finished product for our Swiss chard and Parmesan gratin, and it's all done. It looks good. We're going to have this for breakfast. Anyway, I hope you come back and watch us again, and have a good day. Bye-bye.